Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Danish Alan bin Ananan. My metric number 285345. Today I want to explain about introduction of love, jealousy and envy. Love, jealousy and envy are inherent in every human being's nature or temperament. They went through it at least once in their life. In a relationship, love is fundamental measure of human experience that provides love, attraction, warmth and compatibility. A human being is willing to make a sacrifice for the sake of others. Feeling, emotion, behaviors, those perception and so on can all demonstrate this. When compared to some of most recent language in Europe, some language, including Malay, appear to have more vocabulary in expressing this concept. Love, affection, longing, and sensuality are some examples. Long distance love is one of the many types of love. Long distance love occurs when one couple make love while being separate from the other. In love, there is a feeling that make a person happy, sad, confident and own, among other things. However, man's first love is that God and his messenger, which outweigh our love for human. Then came the love of God's creatures, and from there came the fragment of love. 1,000 different kinds of feeling are usually stored in love, which are extremely difficult to describe. Love is also simple to say, but it's difficult to forget. Furthermore, love is closely related to the concept of jealousy and envy. Next, jealousy. Jealousy is a feeling that is present in the experience of love. It is an emotion shared by all human relationships. Usually refers to negative dose and feeling of being threatened or afraid of losing a loved one. Jealousy, on the other hand, is a collection of emotion that manifests as being angry, hateful, lacking, helpless, and disillusioned. In addition, jealousy is a common emotion in human relationships. Jealousy is frequently reinforced as a side effect of strong emotion and is shaped as a universal human experience. Strong feelings of jealousy are actually very dangerous because they can damage a relationship more easily. This is said because the feeling of jealousy, if it is not contained or resolved in a good way, can end up with a negative thing such as a quarrel, or there can also be a beating. This should be emphasized in the couple so that they always think well and actually wisely and do not do things in a reckless manner. In the general meaning of this term, jealousy is different from envy. Lastly, envy. Envy is another of man's natural emotion. Envy, also known as a malice or envy, is an emotion that arises when another person does not have the same advantage as him. For example, life accomplishment, education, property, and so on. Envy is a human trait that dislikes it when another person obtains something more valuable than he does. Bertrand Russell, a philosopher and Nobel laureate in literature, stated that the problem of envy will make a person unhappy. Such people will make themselves uneasy, and they will always expect an accident to happen to people they dislike. Furthermore, Russell stated that the modern world insecurity of social status, as well as the doctrine of democratic equality and socialism, play an important role in spreading envy throughout society. As a result, envy is something evil, but it must be endured in order to achieve a more just social system. At the same time, some psychologists argue that there are two types of envy: dangerous envy and benign envy, whereas benign envy is currently proposed as a positive motivator. We continue to the next presenter.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Taufik Ikram bin Norizam. My metric is 273933. Okay, I will continue the presented, which is my part is type of love, jealousy, and envy. The first one is a type of love, which is eros. Eros is erotic or passionate love, which is we might as well get that one one out of the way first. Eros is erotic of sexual or passionate love. If often all about need and is more about the person who feeling sexually attractive that it is about the person who is a focus of the love or thing that is the focus of the love with it added. So the second word is philia. Philia means love of friends and equals. It can be the love between lovers when they been together for a long time and are not so hot bother anymore. It's also called the bordering love, as in the city of Philadelphia. So the second one is storage. Storage here means a love of a parent for children. This is kind of love is what mother know best, but is not talk about too much when we talk about love. It is a love of the parents for children. It's described as the most unnatural of love. Natural in that it is present without corrosions. So the last one of type of love is agape. Agape means love of a mankind. The love a modeling on the love of the Christian of God for means and love a man of God for God is it is the love that is given whether or not it written. This is a love without any self-benefit. In Buddhist tradition, it is the central foundation love, kindness for all mankind. This kind of the love is important in the processing of forgiveness. So the next one is type of jealousy. So first one is a type logical jealousy. It's a normal type of jealousy that often occur as a symptom accompanied by a number of others mental disorders such as obsessive compulsive disorder. It reaches climax romantic relationship. Periodically, jealousy people put that their partner which is unfulfilled on the basis of distorted comprehension of unimportant situation, which is that they multitude of the factor and treat their romantic relationship. So the next romantic jealousy is caused where type jealousy include a series of tough feeling and reaction cause the actually immediate treatment to relationship. Romantic jealousy is not about physical and sexual infidelity. It has an emotional component. It's kind of the jealousy which is a partner is jealousy emotional affection of the partner toward other person with not a passive So the next one is sexual jealousy. Is a type of jealousy which is manifested in the suspicion of the physical implication. Human men have a recurrent face a challenging finding secure and meeting a partners. So next one is a rational jealousy is different other type jealousy. In this jealousy type, there is a real and reasonable about in a partner. Jealous partner behave so prevent the loss of the loved one, but is a socially acceptable way without imitation, humiliation, threats, and other form is improper behavior. So the next one, irrational jealousy, is a kind of jealousy that very similar to particular jealousy. It's a different sense of fear, anger, and often result in the depression. It's a jealous person always do at a suspicious emotion can be irrational and lead to destructive behavior. So the last one of the jealousy is international jealousy. Is a form for jealousy which is one of the partner can be used with a specific function. For example, as a specific tool against a partner or achieve some kind of benefit. Threatening men paying attention to other women, talking about friends and opposite sex, talking about all love and other that are only some of the signs of international jealousy. So next is a type of envy. Hostile nature is envy advantage enjoyed by the candidate for powerful from their self. Other people's superiority grants them better access culture, value, resources in school, the workplace, and romantic relationship or needed. So the second one of envy is the type of envy is suspicion of envy is people because of comprehensive their envy, perhaps more so than any other emotion. After all, envy in ourselves is one of the 7 deadly sins. People are taught rejoin the good fraternity of others to admit is an announcement that is a feeling about a fear hostility. So the last one of the envy is thought of the potent and can cause unhappiness. The part of the reason is feeling envy means that one is determined self-worth by how to compare with others. This is likely a road discontent because for most people there are which always to be other who compare the better. Ultimately, envy can poison a person's capacity to enjoy the good things in life, snuff out a feeling of the gratitude for life and many gifts. So that was my part. I will pass the other presenter. Thank you.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. Okay, I will proceed this presentation to topic 3.0, which is model of interpersonal relations. Okay, the first model is social exchange model. Okay, in this social exchange model, interpersonal relationships was so trade transaction. A person's motivation to have relationships with another people is because they expect something to meet their needs. The figure of this theory is Thibault and Kelly. They conclude that the basic assumption underlying our entire analysis is that individuals voluntarily enter and stay in social relationships only so long as the relationship is satisfactory in terms which is rewards and costs. In this social exchange relationship, an individual will weigh the pros and cons of that he will get when doing interpersonal relationships. This is always very instrumental and influential for anyone who will carry out a process of interpersonal relation. Okay, the second model, which is role model. Okay, the role model views an interpersonal relationships as a level. This is described that every individual who is involved with other individuals will play with role in accordance with the script made by the community. Language is easier. In fact, there is already a scenario set by the community to carry out an interpersonal relationship which is follow to its role. For example, the lifestyle of the community maintains the relationship between resident and the head of RT in their environment, who plays the role of a citizen who acts as the head of the RT. That is what is meant as a scenario. You can see how social psychology applies here. An individual is said to be grow better when he can remain compliant from the existing scenario. This means he will carry out his role well, so as to create a harmonious relationship with another person. Okay, the third model is game model. The game model describes how two interaction between two or more parties will result in a decision where the decision from one party will affect to the other party. This theory was created by Emil Borel in 1921. Basically, there are two types of game patterns in interpersonal relationship. The game can be constructive, namely establishing a cooperative relationship between the parties so that mutually satisfying decisions are obtained. However, there are also games that are negative. Decision may be made in favor of only one party. Therefore, the theory of interpersonal relations in psychology is often considered as something that should be understood more wisely and deeply. The type of human personality must to be known so that the existing interpersonal relationships are more strength. Okay, the last model is interactional model. These interpersonal relations are related as a system. Interpersonal intelligence is usually about of this model. Each system it has structural, terrain, and integrative properties. Because the system is usually a unit, then in this model, interpersonal relationships will be kept intact so as not to be negative and damaged. Within the system, there are still have a subsystem that are also interrelate in order to build a system of positive and good interpersonal relations. Environmental psychology has a lot to say about this. That we generalize description of the theory of interpersonal relations when associated with psychology. Apparently, there are several models that we often encounter in daily life. The ability to identify models of interpersonal relationships, we can gain a better understanding of the theory of interpersonal relationships in psychology field.
Lastly, in conclusion, what the researchers understand about love, jealousy and envy is that it has an association between one of those feelings. The association that associates those feelings with the life we experience. Researchers have found that the feeling of love is dangerous if a person puts hope on the wrong person. For example, many cases in this day and age that we can see on the TV, newspaper, that show various cases of contention such as love for the husband or wife of people. This greatly was the image of the country and led to the destruction of a household that had been built for a long time. With this, love can also sometimes bring harm to an individual if they fall in love with an underserved person. In addition, researchers have found that love at young age can bring harm. If a human being falls in love during school age can actually interfere with their focus on learning. This should not happen because they are supposed to study hard in order to continue their studies at the university level. When it comes to jealousy, researchers feel that in relationship there should be a mutual trust and mutual understanding. This said as such because it will create a happy relationship. In other words, each of them should have such a mature attitude as not easily jealous of a partner. However, they also need to play an important role in order to keep the partner's heart from being jealous because this jealousy is common in the feeling of love. As for envy, we as humans need to be grateful for what God has given us. If we view the luxuries and riches of others, we will envy them. Furthermore, in modern times, many people like to show off their wealth on social media.